everybody, welcome back to the Raspy Dispatcher. In today's video, we're going to talk a little bit more in depth about Criticall and what sections you might come across when having to take the Criticall test. Now, just a brief reminder, the Criticall test is a computer-based software program that is widely used by many departments and agencies to help during the application process in determining if a candidate has the underlying fundamental skills that is required to be successful as a 911 dispatcher. If you are looking for some more information about the Criticall test, make sure to check out our other videos. You can find that in our playlist for the Criticall test. So Criticall is a software program that is available for departments to use. With that being said, it's highly customizable. Each department has the ability to choose which test sections they turn on, what their pass-fail marks or numbers are going to be. So if you take Criticall with one agency and then you take it with another, it is very possible you're not taking the same test and you're not going through the same exact sections. It's specific to the department that's paying for the use of that software, that Criticall software. So I'm going to talk really briefly about each section you may potentially come across when taking this test. Alright, Criticall test descriptions. Reminder, you take Criticall with one agency and then you go take Criticall with another agency. It is possible that you don't see all of the same test descriptions activated because the program is highly customizable. So while one department might find a value, another might not. But this is all the test descriptions that Criticall has listed could be potentially turned on if that agency utilizes Criticall. So first, multitasking and advanced decision making, computerized data entry, followed by oral comprehension, and as well as reading comprehension, sentence clarity, map reading and geographic directions, memory recall, spelling, frequency of information and probability determination, numerical ability, cross-referencing, and vocalization summary. All the information that I'm going to be giving to you in regards to these tests are also listed on Criticall's website. They have a few resources for potential folks who are going to be having to take the Criticall test. So let's go ahead and break these up a little bit and take a look at the first four sections. I've grouped up a couple of these to kind of make it easier to get through a video about them. So first, we're going to talk about multitasking and advanced decision making. This is 9 times out of 10 going to be turned on the Criticall test that you take. It has multitasking and deductive reasoning and reaction time questions. It requires decision making while you are simultaneously performing other tasks, and there are limited response times which recreates the dispatching environment. Next, you have computerized data entry. For a dispatcher, we utilize the computer 100% of the time, really. So it is obvious that you would be tested on this section during Criticall. It assesses your alphabetic character recognition and your numeric searching skills, as well as allowing the test taker to respond to both written and oral requests for information. So the computerized data entry is certainly something that you're going to be tested on throughout the test in its entirety, not just one section of the test. The next section here is oral comprehension. Obviously, there has to be a certain level of ability to listen, ask questions, and understand what is being told to you vocally. In this section, it's going to look at your ability to hear and understand that vocal information. This tests general narrative note-taking utilizing the keyboard. It also is looking at your ability to filter out non-essential distractions and summarize important facts. There is a few versions. It's a more advanced version of the call summarization section, and it requires detailed responses to information that is being provided. So, are you able to listen, type? Are you able to hear directions and take directions and ignore all the things that is being given to you that you are not being asked for? Next up, reading comprehension. This section measures the applicant's ability to read, comprehend, and retain details contained in a short paragraph. And last for this slide is going to be sentence clarity. This, of course, assesses whether or not a person can determine which is the most clear way to present a set of facts. If you haven't had the opportunity yet, make sure to check out the information section of this video for our freebie PDFs. Criticall, completely free and has a lot of good information about the Criticall test to help you prepare. All right, and the next section here is going to be map reading and geographic directions. Now, this is something that I do hear a lot of folks have trouble with, being able to read a map and answer the questions accurately that are being asked of you. So this section tests the ability to choose the most direct route to an assigned destination. It also requires decisions that comply with all regulatory signs. I do have some map practice up. I'm hoping to get a lot more out there over the next 6 to 8 months to help you guys really navigate this portion of the Criticall test, as I know lots of people struggle with it. This next section here is memory recall. This is going to be testing memory for details provided earlier and throughout the test. It requires the ability to make logical inferences based upon information that is provided to you. Also requires inductive reasoning to form conclusion. It will test your memory and selective attention for written and audible information. Text takers respond both vocally and in writing, and it also requires character recognition and or listening accuracy. So for the vocal response, I never have seen it used, but it is an option that those who are utilizing Criticall can turn on, that you also have to respond vocally rather than just written, or I should say better, typed during the test, but they want you to actually vocally respond as you would if you were actually dispatching. The next section is spelling, and it will test your ability to spell commonly misspelled or misused words utilizing the keyboard. Next up, we have frequency of information and probability determination. This is going to be measuring the test taker's ability to choose the most likely solution based on the information provided. It also will be testing ability to apply the law of probability, and it will require the ability to filter out non-relevant information. That's something you're going to be seeing frequently through these test descriptions, is the ability to filter out, shuffle through, ignore extra stuff. And so you really, really need to take the time to look at the practice test, the practice question they give you before each section, in order to fully understand what exactly they're looking for, what information they do want you filling out, and what information they want you to ignore. Next up is numerical ability. I haven't experienced this on a Criticall test, but it is an option, and they will be testing job-related addition, subtraction, and percentages, real-life scenarios when calculating distances, times, and amounts. All right, the last two sections here to bring it home: vocalization summary, which is going to be testing the test taker, or having the test taker, I should say, enter information received vocally or in writing utilizing the keyboard. It is assessing your speed and accuracy, and the data must be entered in the proper location on the screen. Again, like I was just getting at, you want to make sure that you have a complete understanding of what they were asking for, where they wanted to go, and in what manner they wanted to go there in. So just be really aware and really take the time to slow down and do those practice questions, because unless otherwise stated, they do not count against you. They're there purely for practice, so you make sure you understand what the section is asking for. Last but certainly not least, cross-referencing. It assesses the ability to accurately select audible information based upon a job-related decision or rule, kind of like having to choose who to dispatch while entering other data. It also tests your ability to filter non-essential information. All right, those are all the test description sections you may potentially see on your next Criticall test. Now, some of the sections are going to be being monitored and tracked from the moment you start the test. So just really take the time to understand the practice questions that are presented before each of the sections you're taking. Thank you so much for joining me again here on the Raspy Dispatcher. Hopefully that information about the specific sections you may come across during the Criticall test, you found that information helpful. If you have any questions, make sure to leave it in the comment section. If you hadn't already checked out the information on this video, we have some free PDFs available, Criticall. And of course, check out the theraspydispatcher.com for additional resources. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you next time. Until then, stay raspy, guys.